Don Boy 718, y'all. We're going to start this off real right. Last night, the NBA playoffs. This whole week, this first round of the NBA playoffs, it's been awesome. A lot of sparks, a lot of hits, a lot of misses, a lot of, crashing and flashing and everything here under the sun, right? You had scraps like the Joker and Jaden McDaniels getting into it. You had guys in the New York Knicks, the separation there was some brawls and some separations, but the guys were able to maintain and keep their tempers, to a minimum, and we have more team players that are willing to help fix up the situation, so it is what it is. We're going to get into the NBA playoffs, which are underway, and wow, how about the New York Knicks? The only thing I want to say is they not only eliminated the Atlanta Hawks in the first round, but they made history also. The New York Knicks, this is only the 5th largest blowout in NBA history in the NBA playoffs at the same time. The New York Knicks, man, this is a franchise record. The highest and the most they've ever blown anybody out in franchise history, because they were just doing it. And I mean, they took these Atlanta Hawks out, and the Knicks were up 40-15 in the first quarter. And they were up 83-36 at halftime. That says a lot. They played like a championship team with Karl-Anthony Towns and, his triple-double that he had, 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. It just basically led to a great Knicks victory and a lot of control, a lot of good ball control. Not many turnovers. The Knicks were executing very excellent this night. OG Anunoby, he had 29 points and 7 rebounds. Jalen Brunson with 17 points and 8 assists. I mean, in a destruction blowout of the Atlanta Hawks. 140-89. A 51-point win. After, the fact that people were doubting them a little bit in game 2, and then they thought that, okay, well, how the Knicks are going to bounce back? And then, what do you see now? They're going to advance to the semifinals, waiting to play either Boston or Philadelphia, the winner of that series, because that's what's happening right now. Excuse me. The Boston and Philadelphia series, the interesting thing about that, Boston, they tried to run away with this thing. They were up, I believe it was 2-1. Philadelphia, they showed some fight. They won the game. Then Boston was up 3-1. Next thing you know, Joel Embiid is back. He's over there with his boys, Tyrese Maxey and Paul George. And what are they doing over there in Philadelphia? They kicking ass. They getting straight to it. These boys ain't taking no job. They going straight at them. They represent for the city of Philadelphia, which is a brutal city and a stand-up town. And these guys are getting the job done. They were able to force a game 7 because Joel Embiid had the 33 and the 8, okay, in game 5, letting you know, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to take this game here in Boston. Now we're going back to Philly. They went back to Philadelphia. They played. They battled. They came out with good results last night against this Boston Celtics team. And the fact of the matter is, these guys, Philadelphia was able to tie the series up last night with a win, and this was going to make some big things happen. This was not just a win, it was a 13-point win, 106-93, and this caught the attention of Jaylen Brown and many other Celtics players, and it has some folks thinking what's going on with the Boston Celtics, because they were already on a run with Jaylen Brown to be an MVP candidate. Being that he was an MVP candidate, all of this was happening at the same time while the team was supposed to be suppressed or going through it because of what happened with their original team leader, Jason Tatum. Remember last year against the New York Knicks in the playoffs was where Jason Tatum hurt and ruptured his Achilles tendon. And then now he's back already real quick after a year. Like, he didn't take off as much time as players like Tyrese Halliburton to fully get the whole healing, or what Kevin Durant had been through when he was in Brooklyn. Now, Chauncey Billups is out right now with an Achilles tendon. So with Jason Tatum coming back, this changes up the system and have players trying to figure how they're going to adapt to him. And he's saying that he's going to be good and that he's ready to go. But he's playing, and the man is not 100%. You can see, actually, because it's tough getting back into your normal form after you have had surgery and an injury like an Achilles tendon. Game 6, the Boston Celtics, they're watching Jason Tatum go through it a little bit, but Jason Tatum is saying that some of his shots, he felt his legs were not fully there. Like his leg, he was having problems with it, some stiffness. And that can be due to overcompensating or how much he's doing on one leg. Like, how many of you have you hurt your foot or your leg and then you hop on the other foot like, it's like a natural reaction, right? But if you do that too much, if you're just jumping on one leg and not, trying to get both legs back or just having a balance, then that can be a little bit of a problem. And that's what Jason Tatum went through. And that's why I'm thinking that now the results of him not actually being 100% is weighing down on Boston. And they have some pieces here because Jaylen Brown, like I said, he was in the MVP conversations. And then now the fact that Jason Tatum is back and the team, they have, split the duties. And then it's become a little bit, I guess, confusing for players to know who's going to take that last shot now, since the main dude is dead. But what I can say is that Philadelphia, they have been resurrected with Paul George stepping up to the plate more now, being the guy who we knew that he could be, just being Paul George, and then Joel Embiid, who's a warrior and a fighter. And remember how he did with the Olympics. Joel Embiid was a factor in bringing us back and fighting against, Yabusele and, Victor Wembanyama and that French team to get this gold medal for the United States. But now in the playoffs, I have to say the fact that shout out to Philly, shout out to Boston. Whoever it is that makes it to the next level in the semifinals and the Knicks get to play, the Knicks are just going to have to be ready for him and get it on. When they asked Karl-Anthony Towns about it, they said, man, shoot, whoever we have to play. And OG Anunoby said the same thing, like, you know what, we here. We're just going to deal with whatever comes forward. You know what I mean? That's it right there. It's going to have to be either one. But it's going to be a northeast battle. There are some sparks and some fighting and some flares, some boom, boom. A lot of shit going on, a lot of stuff, a lot of cannons popping in the Northeast, because this is a year in the East where we're trying to see who's going to rise out the East and go for this chip. We would love for it to be the New York Knicks because we've seen everybody else had a chance already in what they've done with it. But let's see. The Lakers last night, speaking of champions, champion LeBron James, who won a couple, the Lakers finished off the Houston Rockets 98-78 with a blowout in Houston to eliminate the Rockets and win the series 4-2. Grown man LeBron, 40 plus, y'all. 40 plus, representing for the 40 plus, that's real. Shout out to LBJ, you know what I'm saying? He had 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists to get this victory and lead this team on. Even though Austin Reeves has returned from injury and he's back, but Austin Reeves is working his way back in, but they don't want to confuse the players, as it can happen when a player comes back from injury, as I was just mentioning with Jason Tatum and such. But now with the Lakers, Austin Reeves, he contributed. He had 15 points last night, and the Lakers were able to move on and get that win. Alperen Sengun, these guys couldn't do anything. He was their top scorer for Houston. He had 17 points and 11 rebounds. But it wasn't enough. And the Lakers will move on to play OKC. And by the time they move on and play OKC, after maybe 2 games or so, a couple of games, they're expecting to probably have Luka Doncic back, which is when they'll probably definitely need him We know this for sure because the intensity and everything is going to rise, and we know that this is going to be more necessary stress upon the team, and they're going to need that help to get over the hump. The scoring, the transition, the basketball IQ of Luka Doncic, that'll formulate into their system and really help LeBron and Austin Reeves get things going. Even though Rui Hachimura has been stepping it up while they've been going through this process in LA, and these guys have been shown that they can still play and get some things done. So shout out to the LA Lakers for that. And for LeBron, 40 plus, leading a team over another team in the playoffs to make it to the next round. He still got it. That's all I can say. Playoff LeBron is still a thing at this stage in age. And on Tuesday, May 5th, they will be playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And that's going to be interesting to see. The Raptors, the Toronto Raptors, they've been shocking people probably because folks had more attention on Donovan Mitchell and James Harden with that ill backcourt over here in the East. So while you're watching Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, you're like, okay, these guys are easily 20 plus apiece per game, right? That hasn't been enough because the Raptors had an incredible close win last night in overtime against Cleveland in Toronto with the 112-110 win with a three-point basket. That shot, it almost reminds you of Kawhi Leonard, but it was R.J. Barrett last night in the playoffs, and it wasn't the NBA Finals. R.J. Barrett made an incredible three-point shot last night. You know how you shoot the ball, it bounced off the rim, it went up, it went through the hoop. And the Raptors were able to get that victory in overtime. R.J. Barrett off a Scotty Barnes pass. And R.J. Barrett finished the game with 24 points and 9 rebounds, while Scotty Barnes finished with 25 and 14 rebounds. And Donovan Mitchell, he tried, but he had a bad game and could not do much about it. He was 11 for 26 from the field with 24 points. And the Toronto Raptors tied the series, and there's going to be a Game 7 between the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So there you have it. While the Pistons, they survive, and they get to manage to stay alive instead of getting eliminated with that 93-79 win against Orlando in Game 7. Paolo Banchero did not have a good game. So Kate Cunningham and team was able to take advantage of that and to be able to move forward and play as a unit and get the win. But Paolo Banchero had 17 points, 10 rebounds, and he was shooting 4 for 20. 4 for 20, that's pretty bad. That's 20%. It could have been worse than that, you know, but if it would have been better than that, they would have definitely wanted that to get him into the winning column. But it did not take place, and I believe that Orlando has what it takes to man up and to play this series out with this Detroit team, this Detroit Pistons squad, who many have been saying, okay, Kate Cunningham doesn't have help, but he has pieces. He has Jalen Duran over there, he has Tobias Harris over there, and he has a team of people that got him this far. They were running away with the East in the beginning for the regular season. Regular season was them, but now the reality part steps in, and this is where the hot smoke clears. You know what I'm saying? This is what brought them to the situation of Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, who's on an already ready team, a team that's been built up to win right there, go out there and do battle. Not to mention Desmond Bane, who's been on this series and causing a problem. So now that Detroit have won the last 2 games, this is fire in the hole right here. Orlando, they have to press the panic button and go all in. They're going to be in Detroit, and this is going to be something serious because they're going to have to try to get this win on the road, and I think that this is something that's going to actually work in their favor. So we'll see what happens with this and if Detroit pulls away with it. Other than this, the NBA playoffs have been real interesting. There's been some scraps and some battles. Anthony Edwards, he was hurt for the year now. He was taken out. He may be back with the team, being that they did advance to the semifinals after taking out the Joker and Murray in Denver. So, Ayo Dosunmu, who did step up, and Julius Randle, I mean, the team did respond to their leader going down, and they did make sure that they, put in enough work, and they go out there and grind and work together to pull off these wins, because if they'd have just sat back and made it easy for the Denver Nuggets to be able to take them out, I mean, they wouldn't even been a shot in the world. And Anthony Edwards, he might as well have just called it a vacation. But now he's going to try to make his way back and try to rejoin the team at some point, provided that they get further enough into the second round here in the semifinals. So what more can we expect? I mean, dudes go out there and they look to put in more energy or give more effort than they necessarily really need to when it comes down to things like this, because they don't want to be, exposed or looking like the team isn't what it is. So then they try to go back, try to bring all that they got, but cover up that they are still injured to make the team relevant. So if we watching the same way we saw Wembanyama in the regular season come back and play another game to make sure he gets 65 wins, 65 games, because that's the rule to be eligible for an award. And then now we're going to see Luka potentially make his way back in the next week or two. This is going to be interesting to see how these players are adjusting to this playoff run, because the playoffs are real intense and that puts the body through a lot. So I want to see if these guys are going to maintain good health. That's an important thing to do. That's why I'm glad the Knicks are already done with Atlanta and they're just relaxing, waiting for the winner of this series here, Philadelphia and Boston. Because now we'll be able to see whether we're traveling to Boston or if the 76ers are going to be traveling to the Garden. So it helps the body and the mind relax and gets into a place of preparation instead of just constant tension. Where you go into game 7, there's a lot on you and there's a lot of pressure mentally and physically. So I think this is a better point right now where the Knicks are at, and I want to see them handle their business. LeBron James, they finished off the Rockets because he's going to need rest. Especially as an older player and an older body, you're going to need that rest so that you can be able to get back into your normal rotation or be able to be useful. You can't be useful if you don't have the energy or the strength. So that's a definite right there. I want to say shout out to everybody that's listening, checking us out, DonBoy718. We on NewtownRadio.com. NewtownRadio.com, out here in Bushwick, there's a lot of love, blessings in big Brooklyn. Let's do it. I would like to see the Brooklyn Nets make some trades or some deals, because we have guys like Devin Booker that was out here in Phoenix doing his thing, but Phoenix, according to Ishba, out in Phoenix, one of the general managers, the owners, they're going to keep Devin Booker regardless. They're going to build around him. He's still their franchise guy, their franchise player, and their number one go-to, and they're going to bring in people and try to change the system to accommodate the way that he plays and work with him, because Devin Booker is an investment. I would have liked to have seen if Devin Booker did leave, if he does leave, if he could join the Brooklyn Nets, because the Brooklyn Nets, we have room and we just need the maturity of our players, which we're going to get, because I think that Danny Wolf and Igor Demon, these guys are going to be official when the season starts next year, because we have some pieces. We just got to get that chemistry going and where Michael Porter Jr. actually fits in. And if we get to keep Nick Claxton, that's also a bonus, because we have a team in the squad that we can actually build on. And the NBA, they just had a players meeting. Now they're going to be addressing issues. I mean, not a players meeting, but a team owners meeting where they're going to be addressing teams that's tanking and what's going on with the league. Because the NBA, if you notice, a lot of teams, well, all of them have big bankrolls, first of all. But a lot of teams have been tanking to get these draft picks and try to bring in better players instead of them just going out there and recruiting or spending the money necessarily to, attract the talent or to actually get them going, to better themselves. Because how hard is it actually to build a better team? You have lots of great pros and talented people that's out here that will look for a squad and a team, and they are available. However, these teams, if they don't go out and seek them, they don't take them in as prospects, or the scouts don't do their job, then they're not alerting the team owners and management of what's available. Even putting a bug in the coach's ear might actually help things, because then that'll help you to be able to at least spread the word, or give them an eye-opening chance of knowing what kind of talent is out there that they can bring in and make their fans happy and make the team fan base, make the other players happy on the squad to be able to go out there and ball out, because now they have official teammates that they can trust, that they can, deal with and potentially win with, But if you don't make much changes, then what's the team going to look like overall? It's not going to look too great at all, I want to tell you. Mm-hmm. And on a professional level, you see a lot of teams where they want to win, but they're not investing in the infrastructure. It's like people, you have a house or you want a house, but you're not looking at the expenses that's coming along with it, and the opportunities that you have to use certain materials. You can say, okay, well, instead of getting the right floorboard or the right panels for the house, I'm gonna just save some money and get the thinner ones or the cheaper ones, probably made in China or here or there, wherever. But you have to take care of what you're building and what you're responsible for. Very, very, very important. So it's the same thing with a team. You have to manage your investment, basically take care of that, and then grow from there. NBA, the WNBA is back also. The WNBA, not their regular season. Their regular season is about to begin. Is it this week? This week? Next week? I know their regular season is about to begin pretty soon. WNBA. And, they've been going at it. They've been going at it. They just starting up. I believe their actual season is going to begin on Friday, May 8th, because tomorrow is the end of their preseason. So May 8th, which is going to be next week Friday, the WNBA will be back. And the WNBA, they have quite the business. Quite the business.